Folks, drama bin drama, Arab drama. Overturn. What? I don't even know where to start. Maybe I should start with what I'm feeling, okay, and what I believe a lot of Kenyans are feeling. Yeah? I'm so ashamed to be a Kenyan. I have never been this ashamed to be called a Kenyan. Yesterday, we showed the entire world, that Kenya is a land of brutes. Kenya is a land of wild animals wearing clothes, pretending to be human beings. Now, don't start giving me that human waste, telling me, no, that was Jubilee, no, this was not NASA, no, that was not ODM. That is pure rubbish. Because when the world looks at Kenya, they do not know what ODM is. They have no idea what Jubilee is. They will just say a very simple thing. Look at what Kenyans are doing. And unfortunately, that means you, that means me. I am so ashamed. Oh boy. What happened yesterday at the airport will go down in history. They'll be talking about it long after we're all gone. 200, 300, 400 years, if the world will still exist. Oh boy. Now, people can protect their presidency. People can be very draconian. And indeed, Moi is accused as being a very, very iron-fisted dictator. Okay? But this would never have happened during Moi's regime. I can assure you, I was there. I was a grown-up. I was working. And I can tell you, this would never have happened when Moi was in power. Why? Because Moi knew, even if he was the worst dictator, he knew something called boundaries. There are places where you cannot cross. Let me give you concrete proof. In the late 90s, there was a man called Gibson Kamau Kuria. He was a lawyer. Very, very harsh critic of the Moi regime. Okay? And in some very dramatic events in Nairobi, Gibson Kamau Kuria managed to flee from the special branch at that time. The NIS at that time. And he fled and ran into the US Embassy in Nairobi. He was able to easily make it, because at that time the US Embassy was where the bomb site is today. Near that glass cooperative building. At the corner of Moi Avenue and Haile Selassie. Moi Avenue and Haile Selassie Avenue. Okay? Now, of course, these people could not follow him inside the embassy. Okay? But what happened next is what illustrates my whole point about boundaries. So what happens is that at that time, the ambassador, the US ambassador to Kenya, Smith Hempston, God rest his soul in peace, that was a great guy. Not this taka we have as ambassadors these days. So what Smith Hempston did, he took Bwana Gibson Kamau Kuria, put him in his vehicle, and the special branch were just watching, observing, and then they drove all the way to the airport. And of course, the special branch were following him. At the airport, Smith Hempston took Gibson Kamau Kuria straight through onto the tarmac and onto an aircraft. As the special branch were watching, and Smith Hempston came down the stairs, the door was locked, and the aircraft took off. And the special branch were just there watching. Unaona vile unaweza kuangalia nyama ikienda. Now, with the goons we have today, I assure you that would not have happened. Because what would have happened is that if there were no Marines at the US Embassy, these goons would have stormed the US Embassy. I'm telling you, the goons we have around. But of course, we have the US Marines. You can't fool around with a Marine, But so what they would have done, realizing they're Marines, they'd have waited. What would have happened, immediately Bwana Hempston came out with Gibson Kamau Kuria holding his hands, these guys would have grabbed Kuria, from the ambassador, and roughed up Kuria and taken him away. That's what they'd have done. These guys do not know anything called a boundary. Because you can do your things, but there are certain boundaries. There are certain things you just don't do. Like the drama yesterday at the airport. Anyway, towards the tail end of this video, I'll tell you where there are no boundaries, yeah? I'll give you a little bit of inside information, heads up, if you like, yeah? In my view, Bwana Miguna fully deserves the title general, okay? Because he proved yesterday that indeed is a general. Because he was one step ahead of the goons every single step of the way. He was always one step ahead, 2 steps ahead. Now I know there might be somebody listening to this and wondering and saying, what is Chris Kumekucha talking about? I mean, all they did is they tried to deport Miguna. What is the big deal there? Yeah, that is village thinking. Those are things you do in your village, yeah, in your remote, your very remote village, and you can probably get away with it. However, at an international airport, there are some things you just don't do. You cannot do. It's not possible. Yeah? So when you cross the line and you do them, okay, what am I talking about? Now, international law says, yeah, and international law, when you call your airport international, yeah, there is no way the world can accept to land their aircraft on that airport unless they are sure that that airport is legally operated. Not legally operated according to your jungle laws, your bush laws, yeah? Legally operated, yeah? In tandem with international laws. Number 1, the law says when somebody lands in a foreign country, okay, because let's assume, let's humor the government for a minute. Miguna is a foreigner, he's a Canadian. Yeah? When you land in a foreign country, okay, it doesn't matter how you landed, whether you landed illegally, whether you used a panya route, whatever you did, you have landed in a foreign country. That country, no matter how powerful it is, cannot forcibly remove you. They cannot deport you from that country unless the whole thing goes to a court of law. Only a court has power to eject somebody from a country. And I'm talking about a foreigner. Yeah, you cannot just deport that person. Yeah, immediately they've landed in your terrain. You can't. Now, of course, we all know Miguna is not a foreigner. Miguna is a Kenyan. So that makes it even worse. Now, obviously, Miguna is aware of the law. Yeah, and many people are aware of the law. Yeah, especially, which were tightened, especially after this terrorism thing hit the world. Legally, any aircraft, it doesn't matter, any carrier, yeah, cannot allow somebody onto the plane, yeah, somebody shouting and behaving in a violent manner, they cannot be allowed in. Because the pilot, the captain, cannot endanger the lives and the security of the rest of the passengers. His responsibility is to the majority of the passengers seated inside his aircraft. And therefore, and many Kenyans already know this, the Emirates flight, by allowing Miguna even to step inside the aircraft, yeah, already broke the law. The fact that they later refused to take off with Miguna inside the aircraft is irrelevant. Yeah, they had already crossed the line. But instead of rehashing what happened at the airport, which everybody knows, everybody's talking about on social media and all over the place, let's move on to some more interesting stuff. Yeah, the political fallout. Yeah, that has already started unfolding. Raila Uhuru handshake, kwisha maneno, kaput, dead and buried. History. Forget about it. It does not exist. It never happened. That's really what it is. Yeah? And I believe this is a statement Raila Odinga made or was making when he went to the airport. Okay? Let me explain. Now after that handshake, Raila would not have needed to go to the airport. All he'd have needed to do is pick up his phone and call Uhuru. Yeah? And it would have been done. Yeah, assuming that the handshake was what we all thought it was. Now, by going to the airport, he was showing that he went to the airport to try and rescue Miguna. He was not able to. He was telling us the handshake is normal. Okay? Because why go to the airport? Yeah, give me another reason why you'd have gone to the airport. In this day and age, when we have technology at our fingertips, he did not need to go to the airport. Therefore, going to the airport was a statement. And I believe when Raila went to the airport, he knew very well that it was not going to make any difference. Yeah, and this is the whole point, so that we all see. so that his next move, people will not start saying, what are you doing? Yeah? So I put it to you, handshake of Raila and Uhuru, gone forever. Okay? Now, I've run out of my time. Catch me in the next episode of this captivating series, and let's break down the politics, and even more than that, let me give you a bit of background information why this madness unfolded. Okay? Don't miss it. This is Chris Kumekucha. See you there.